If we sit and talk about sports cars, you can talk about Porsche, Ferrari or Lamborghini without ever mentioning the likes of AMG, M or RS divisions, or vice versa. When it comes to SUVs, you can talk about Land Rovers, BMW X5, Mercedes GLEs, but you can leave out the Audi Q7, Jeeps or Volvos, or the million other off-roaders that are now available. However, when you talk luxury, there's one name you simply cannot leave out. Its seat is forever reserved at that particular table. Ears perk up when its name is mentioned. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, Rolls-Royce means the business end of luxury. In order to become the very best at anything we do, we need to be a little obsessive. In fact, there is no little about it. We need to become obsessed. We need to adapt the way that we think and scrap convention. We need a constant and uncompromised pursuit of excellence. Only then can you start to meet the expectations of the Rolls-Royce client. Never have the words "that'll do" been uttered in the halls of Goodwood. So what does all that marketing talk translate to? Rolls-Royce goes black badge. It's the label that the iconic manufacturer seals onto its cars to appeal to perhaps a younger or more edgier side of you. Think of it as a blank canvas. Rolls-Royce are one of only a few manufacturers left that still allow the client to design and customize their car from the ground up. Single paint, two-tone paint, easy. Do you have a t-shirt that has sentimental value or a vase in your house that you absolutely adore the color of? Paint to sample, no issues. Let's talk language that most, if not all, Rolls-Royce clients are going to be fluent in: money, or as the younger audience may know as crypto. This particular Ghost has been spec'd to a little over 400,000 Great British pounds. And yes, that is a eye-watering amount of money, but if you live in a world where £400,000 on a car is on the cards, first of all, kudos to you. And secondly, you may be somewhat acclimatized to these cars. You may be around them, you may have regular access to them, you may drive them, or indeed you might have a collection yourself. However, it still needs to wow. So, does it? To find out, I took the car to a nearby village.
Hello, Ghosty.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
I've just noticed the stars. That is epic. Where's the gin and tonic?
I am, annoyingly, I'm suitably wowed. I wish I wasn't, but I am. Oh, yeah, even like everything's perfect and with no flaws.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, chauffeur. Well, I don't know, I'm speechless. Would they take my Sophia as a down payment? How much is it?
Have a guess.
Well, I'll say 400 plus.
Spot on, £400,000.
Wow.
Stunning.
So, there you have it. Rolls-Royce say that Ghost should be a place of relaxation, a holiday, a place to find solace, relax, a place of well-being. So you should be able to go in there and forget all your troubles. And do as Rolls say, which instead of being driven in one, drive Ghost. So before we do that, we're going to adjust the temperature on the upper torso to about midway, and the lower torso, we're going to just heat that up a little bit because my feet are always cold. We're going to adjust the aircon to medium. We're going to put our heated steering wheel on, adjust the heated seat to about medium, put on a pelvic activation massage. We're going to turn up our music, and we're going to drive. and what a drive. Every bit of Rolls-Royce as you would expect. Just gonna put the driving aids on now and just cruise. The most refined and most effortless 6 3/4 litre V12 ever fitted to Ghost. And I find myself in a weird paradox because it's very sporty. And to say that a Rolls-Royce is sporty is like, well, saying a Rolls-Royce that has sporty characteristics. It's ludicrous. Even the button that makes the engine come alive isn't called sports or race. Of course not. It's called low. Don't ask me why, I don't know. But it's positioned right on the gear stalk here. Press that. Power. Jesus Christ. That, my friends, is the most expensive sound ever, because every time I do that, I'll probably spank about 30 quid in fuel. Considering its footprint, its size, the fact that it weighs a few hundred kilos shy of the moon, well, there's no other word for it. It's fast. A bit like a hippo. Around corners, that's when physics start to come in, because at 2.5 tons, there's no getting away from the fact that this is a heavy car, and understandably, you can have the power of Zeus under there that's managing all your suspension, and it will still struggle. But Rolls-Royce have done a brilliant job at making a 2.5 ton luxury saloon feel, well, agile. Rolls-Royce haven't called this car the Ghost, it's Ghost. It's his name. It's like a human, like you and I. It has a personality. It cares about you as the driver, it cares about your passengers, and it cares about itself. As a driver, you're lavished in the best materials. You've got carbon fibre, you've got the finest leather upholstery, the door handles are, well, they feel like metal, they're really, really nice. As passengers, you have your picnic tables, you have your computer screens at the back, which we'll show you a little bit later on in the video. And the car itself, it really does ride like you're riding on a magic carpet. It has air suspension, but it also has dampers. Not only that, it has dampers on its dampers. So it dampens the dampers that dampen the ride. Yeah, I mean, that's like having a butler serving your butlers. How very Rolls-Royce. It's completely unique. You won't find two Ghosts that are identical. You'll find ones that are very similar, but even if it's the smallest detail, it will be slightly different. When you step into Ghost, your expectations are elevated. You start to nitpick. You start maybe from a sort of journalistic point of view. But for example, the indicator stalk is very plasticky, and there are a few other plastic elements here and there. And at £400,000, I would personally want these to be more like these metal stalks. They do have a name, but they elude me. That are just, they feel beautiful, they feel solid, and they're lovely. And I know that sounds nitpicky, but I think for £400,000 you can afford to be, quite literally. Having said that, I love the fact that there are loads of buttons in here. Buttons seem to be dying a slow and painful death with a lot of manufacturers. They're all going touchscreen and touch sensitive, proximity sensors, all this sort of thing. I personally love buttons, and I don't think there's anything wrong with them. So Rolls-Royce, just please keep putting buttons into your cars. I think we're teetering on dangerous territory where manufacturers are just going overboard with touchscreens. When you're driving, there's nothing wrong with being able to just feel a button, not having to take your eyes off the road and just pressing it. Like the Ghost has buttons to skip songs. I haven't seen that in a car in a very long time. You've got physical buttons for your heated seats, ventilated seats, heated steering wheel, and your climate control. You've got physical dials. In Ghost, you don't get to select the exact temperature that you want in here. There are no numbers. There's just hotter or cooler. That is it. But for the most part, all the switches, all the storage compartments and dials and stuff, they're beautifully crafted and they feel mwah, chef's kiss. As you would expect, it is unbelievably quiet in here. Apparently Rolls-Royce made it too quiet that it made people feel a certain way, that they had to re-engineer this sound back in. You know, they say that if you lose any of your senses, that your other senses are heightened. Well, That explains why I'm starting to taste the leather. In fact, it's so quiet in here that I've been using the back of Ghost to record my voiceover audio. True story. I love the way the alloy wheels look on this car. They don't just look great, but they've been engineered in such a clever way that they stop you from curbing them. You see, they're made of 20 odd layers of carbon fiber and 20 odd layers of aluminium. So you can imagine just how much a single alloy wheel costs. That's it, that's the deterrent. That is what will stop you from curbing them. In fact, it will be cheaper for you to park about a mile away from the nearest pavement to your home and do the last leg of your journey in an Uber. I also love the two-tone paint finish, the single coach line which is still hand painted on. I love the styling. The roof without its shut lines, it makes it look and feel like you're properly cocooned and safe. I like the little holder the wireless charge pad comes with, so you can put your phone in there and it won't go knocking around. But like most wireless charge pads, if you leave your phone in there for any length of time, I just find that it heats up to about 3,500 degrees and you get all of about 3% charge. So personally, I just prefer to use a USB cable. It felt kind of wrong to put just a regular iPhone cable in here, so my friends at SailStation, who are the sponsors of this week's video, have hooked me up with this one. Now it's got this clever like little mesh material on it, so it makes it incredibly durable, and I carry this one around with me everywhere I go because it can just sit in the bottom of my bag or in the car and it just doesn't get damaged, so it's brilliant. So if you need any accessories for your home, your office, or your car, I'll leave their details along with my discount code in the description box down below. Hit them up. Oh, just before I go as well, that is a brick. That is an absolute unit. This can charge my phone, this can charge the LED light that I have here, and it can charge my microphone. So when I'm on the go and I need a bit of juice in anything, that is from SailStation as well. That is a beast. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you do, because legend has it, and I don't know how true this is, but if you watch this video and don't subscribe, the spirit of ecstasy will come to your room at night and haunt you. Look, I didn't make it up. I'm just saying, probably a risk not worth taking. And give it a thumbs up, leave a comment. I'll endeavour to answer most sensible comments. This particular Ghost has been loaned to us from HRO in Rolls-Royce in Mayfair, and this one has been specced with the Jubilee Silver and Diamond Black paint finish. In addition, we've got the red and black upholstery, and on top of what the black badge gives you, we've also got picnic tables, rear theatre configuration, TV, rear privacy glass, immersive seating, piping on the seats in red, illuminated fascia, the Indulge bespoke clock, and of course the shooting star headliner, which every now and then you get a little shooting star. Oh, there's one. Ooh, better make a wish. Hang on. Okay. Let's see if it comes true. Anything I don't like about Ghost? The only thing I would say is it'd be nice if it had just a few more physical dials, like an oil gauge or a wafter meter to show you how much you're wafting along. You know what I mean. When I think of Rolls-Royce, I think of those traditional little details like these are brilliant. I love the physical buttons. I just want to see more dials. I think that's a very iconic Rolls-Royce thing. The ones that are in the instrument cluster at the moment, they're a combination of physical rings with screens in them, and I think they work really well. There's not like a sea of information, so it doesn't leave you too distracted. But check out this detail in the air vents. Everything just sounds and feels beautiful. This is an ASMR person's dream. I think Rolls-Royce have blended traditional with modern quite well. I love the technology. I love the fact that it can read the road ahead and adjust the magic carpet ride. So when you go over any potholes or cracks in the road, the ride isn't compromised. I love the fact that the lights can go 600 meters in length. 600 meters is just over 111 Rolls-Royce Ghosts bumper to bumper. 111. That is the length and the power of these headlights. It's unbelievable. I love the fact that you've got this infiltration technology that doesn't let any of the nasty stuff into the cabin. So useful if, like me, you suffer hay fever, you can drive around in your Ghost in spring and summer and not worry. You can pretty much live in here. Yes, it's expensive, but it's not as expensive as a flat in London. I'm not completely sold on electric cars just yet, and I won't go into the reasons why in this video, but I think for Rolls-Royce and electric cars, it's going to be a match made in heaven. Even though this car has a great big 6.75 litre V12, gearbox and all-wheel drive, it's still incredibly smooth, incredibly refined and incredibly quiet, just as you would expect. And I think going EV will only heighten those even more, because there'll be no gearbox, no engine and no drive system, if you like, to pacify. So until then, I'm quite happy to just waft along. And I'm even happier back here. Whoa! What? How did you... Wait, what? Your wish, Gok? I did not wish for you to be back there. What are you talking about? Okay, that hurt. Right, but no, you wish to be driven around. Well, chauffeured, as you so eloquently put. So, care to share some of your experience from back there? Thank you. Thought you'd never ask. It's every bit of Rolls-Royce as you would expect back here. There's just an aura back here. It isn't always the tangible stuff, so it's not always the things that you can feel and touch. However, the things that you do touch back here are incredibly well crafted. The leather is very, very soft and smooth. Lots of metal, like the door handles and the switches. The mesh around the speakers is exquisitely cut, so it looks amazing. The seating position can be controlled via these buttons back here, so there's a fair bit of margin for you to lean back and basically just put your TV on. And there you have it. Everything's at like a convenient arm's length away. If I just want to adjust the volume on the TV, it's just on my fingertips here. The windows, double glazing. So why would you buy a Ghost? Well, simply put, because you can.
Driving the Ghost has been quite the experience, 80% of which I would say is down to that ludicrous V12 engine. However, for me, the best seats in the house, still very much in the rear.
To a majority of us, £400,000 on a car is unfathomable. But if money's no object, money's no object, and you can have it exactly how you want. In terms of driving experience goes, there's very little out there that's going to make you feel the way a Rolls-Royce does. So, who's this car for? Well, for anyone who isn't quite rich enough to buy cheap things. See, at £400,000, you buy once, you cry once. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one. I have no idea what it's going to be, but it's all part of the fun.